Hello, it is Jay. Let me check in with what's probably a horrible mistake. Well, actually, doubt it. I am listening to the audiobook of Rdy Plyr Tw, Ernest Cline's follow up to Rdy Plyr 1, where we have another quest. After winning the prize and becoming alienated from his friends and becoming a eccentric asshole billionaire who horribly abuses his powers, hunting down and killing people, using all his access stuff to be able to spy on his fellows, stalk his now ex-girlfriend, and intrude on everybody's privacy whenever he feels like it, and generally abuses power. He and his buds, without his girlfriend's consent, decide to introduce this new technology that it turned out that Halliday was developing, which is it's basically kind of the Strange Days. You, instead of having a haptic suit where you only sort of get the feeling of being in the VR world, virtual world, you are fully immersed. It goes right into your brain, which his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend now, whose name I can't even remember, is really totally against. She's all for saving the world. Her Wade and his buddies have decided to make an arc ship to get off with, I think, maybe like 100 or 200 people max on this thing. So it's like a real fuck you to Earth, which is like, holy crap. So it's really terrible. But into this, because there's yet another quest has happened where you have to find I can't remember what it's called, the soul of something or another. I don't even remember its name. Where he, as it's kind of, the book kind of acknowledges that he is indeed he's turning into the asshole that he defeated in the last book. He offers $1 billion reward for anyone who can give him info to find the first of the shards, which is all about, not surprisingly, about Halliday and his failed relationship with the woman that the only woman he loved, who actually ended up marrying his co-founder, Og. So I wonder how that will tie into Wade's failed relationship stuff, where he'll learn a lesson. There's some half-hearted attempts at, like, oh, here's a non-binary character who was, I think, male at birth but has transitioned to female, and how the great thing with the VR stuff is that you can now experience the world as male, female, or other. You can have all sorts of different sexual experiences. This book, though, while referencing all this, keeps it very, very PG, even though while getting into what could be, various people's fetishes in that sort of stuff is there, and making the claim that this has greatly boosted people's empathy, as if fiction and movies and anything like that would, if had moved the dial, this is going to move it any further. I remain unconvinced. And I'm thinking, it's like, oh, maybe Wade is going to be the villain of this piece, except we now have a evil, and it's been hinted at, like, oh god, computer intelligence. We've got like level 1, which is hardly any intelligence at all, level 2, which is a little bit of learning, but all kind of strictly locked down. But they're worried about level 3, which is going to be, Skynet, HAL 9000, and that emerges. And what is it? It's Halliday's avatar, which had been programmed to delete itself once it had awarded Wade with the prize at the end of the last book. But apparently he got sloppy because of his illness, and the thing was able to escape that and has taken over, sprung the Sorrento, who is the villain from the last thing. They've kidnapped Og, and now he's going to blackmail Wade and his buds to find the other shards for him, because apparently it's a part of his nefarious plan maybe of actuating as a actual full malevolent being in this planet to take over, and of course also have access to all these human minds, which is what Wade's girlfriend, whose name I should really remember before. This book really does fill the same thing. There's not an actual scene amongst human beings. There's just Wade talking and talking and talking at us, which, to be fair, he does quite well for like the first 20% of the book, until they finally actually meet up in a boardroom to have a fight with said girlfriend. There's just Wade reporting on stuff through the first bit of it, which was very much like Rdy Plyr Tw. There's tons of, again, all the quotes of all the 80s stuff that Halliday liked and that Wade is completely immersed in, like he was a 50-plus science fiction writer or someone who grew up in the 80s. So, it's all stuff that I know and have much less affection for, though it's implanted in my brain because it's basically my youth. I found it semi-tiresome and overly trite and cute at the time. He is a good commercial writer. It's ticking along relatively painlessly. It's got a lot of groaners in it. It's very groan-worthy. And yeah, you're really like, is Wade the villain? Like, he should be the villain. He should be a lot more the villain. Like, this is some pretty deeply gross stuff that he's doing, which, to be fair, if this was written in the 80s, you wouldn't notice it, but it's not written in the 80s. It's written in 2020, so when he's stalking his girlfriend, when he's intruding on the female, the non-binary trans woman, I think just trans woman, that who finds the thing. It's all really creepy. It's all really creepy. He like spies on her actual body to check out what she actually looks like. It's all really creepy. Wade is not a good person, and I'm not quite sure if Ernest Cline is aware exactly how shitty he is. There's the whole thing of his. I think Cline is aware of it. There's stuff like he has a therapist, but he can't stand to actually have a real therapist who might joke about him, or might actually challenge him. He's got Robin Williams and Good Will Hunting as his therapist, who just says, "Tell me more." It's not. That's interesting. It's not actual therapy. It's just him chatting to himself, and which can be helpful, but I say as I'm chatting to myself here, but it's nothing that's going to particularly jostle him out or challenge any of his worldviews. He's, deeply, deeply unpopular. This is the parts that give me hope. He's deeply unpopular amongst the public because, anybody who trash talked him, he hunted down using his super user powers to strip any anonymity from them and to kill them in the game, squash them completely the second they came onto his part of the turf, which is like almost all the turf. So that sort of stuff gives me hope that Cline knows how much of an asshole his hero is. It's kind of an interesting place. I can see people reacting to that badly, of having him be such an asshole. It's like he's supposed to be the hero, and it'll be interesting to see how much he gets forgiven for. And does he get the girl back and all that stuff? That would be, I think, unsatisfying. It would be like, okay, you like this asshole way too much. And is like he's going to have actually have a significant amount of change for me not to do a complete eye roll on this. But I guess we'll find out. That is how far I am so far, 30-40% into the book. And it's clicking along. I don't feel like I'm going to DNF it. It's good, very kind of light cotton candy to have after kind of going through a more tough, rigorous one with the book before this. So, there's that. It's always good to have your variety. Sometimes junk is a little bit of good variety. It highlights how good your other books are. And sometimes, when junk is written well, it could be fun. Let's see how fun this is. All right. I've been Jay. More videos later.